Okay, so the 2-5 is the Hermit, line 2, Hermit, Heretic, line 5. And that is the responder and visionary leader.
Oh shit. I started to write responder at 5, but that was incorrect.
No. So this is a interesting combination here because this is two profile lines that both carry a projection field to them. We'll explain that here in a
What is
second.
okay. Okay.
So the themes here again, they that hermiting side of them can be rather shy and need that alone time. They can tend to neglect their own needs in order to help others because there is this other side of this projection field, the line 5. We'll talk because we haven't done that yet. We'll talk about that here in a second. The projections can be good or bad. Like a lot of times it's the good side of it, pulling them out, but then also there could be negative projections if what they are called out for isn't for the right people. Let's just say that. And then they often, this projection is people seeing them as the one to solve or fix their problems because line 5s are people who bring solutions to the world, practical solutions usually. They have an innate genius that they are here to then impact others. But the difference here is they say that they are here to impact strangers of consequence, meaning could be just chance meetings. It's not necessarily their immediate network. It's more out in the whole world, humanity at large. Some famous 2-5s are Kevin Costner, Mark Twain,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Robin Williams. These projection fields. So the 2-5 has these innate gifts and talents, things that bring solutions to the world, creative, practical solutions, but they don't necessarily know what they are. They don't understand what they are because that hermiting side of them, that natural talent and ability, they don't recognize it necessarily. So others
Hmm.
will call that out of them. They don't really like to be bothered by other people's problems. Is very self-focused here, but the 2 is very
Hmm.
self-focused, but that line 5 also feels this within themselves, this pull, this need to help people even though it has no clue what it's really supposed to do. Most of the times other people have to recognize what it is they can help with in a way, and so they need that time alone in order to kind of, the more time they can spend in their alone time, in their own aura almost, the easier it's going to be for them to recognize when they are being called out for what it is they have to offer, in a sense. So it's like this, it's kind of this
Hmm.
veiled hidden dance between hiding and wanting to come out, but not knowing why you want to come out or what you have to offer, but knowing you need to come out and offer.
Hmm.
What's interesting is even though it's somewhat hidden from them, when they do get called out, it is worthwhile for them because they really do impact people in a big way. That's what that line 5 energy. I mean, so there's these positive projections on them because people can recognize their gifts, but then the line 5 also has this seductive quality, they call it, because people feel from a line 5 that they have something to offer them that's going to help them, right?
Hmm.
They do. However, the solutions they offer aren't for everyone. And so if those people that they are around find that the solutions they bring aren't for them, they blame the line 5,
Hmm.
right? That's that whole burning them at the stake heretic. A heretic is someone who brings new ideas and new solutions that, may or may not work for everyone. And so for those that it doesn't work for, they are very much uh, not appreciated for their solutions, so to speak.
Hmm.
Let me look
I
back
don't
at
know
what.
why, but like for some reason, I envision a mirror when you talk about line 5.
Well, yes, very much. That is very astute because quite often people don't see the line 5 person, right? They perceive that they just see like a solution to their problems. Like this person is going to help because that's that energy drawing them in. And so I mean, it's like when you put someone up on the pedestal, they're going to be the answer to my problem. They are going to be able to help me. And then if what they deliver to them is a solution, but it doesn't feel right to them, or they're not ready for it, or they just don't want to hear it, or whatever it is. I mean, they are being delivered the solution. It's just not one they may want. Right.
Mhm.
And so then they then can turn against that fifth line and be like, how dare you say that to me? Or you don't know what you're talking about, or you always do this, that kind of projection of all that negative onto that person. So, they say a line 5 of any type really needs to understand themselves and what they have to offer, which can be very challenging with that line 2 aspect of it, right? Because they
Mhm.
don't always know it, but strategy and authority will help them, understand when they're being called out. It's the right time to be called out, but also that they are going to be offering solutions to the right people that's for. Does that make sense? But yeah, that mirror, that is important. It's not so, it is in a way a mirror because they don't see the person, the line 5. They just
Mhm.
see their own like need to be met. What's important to know with the 2-5 profile, a lot of most, well, excuse me, all line 5 profiles is this, like I said before, that stranger of consequence, that any interaction with others, meetings with others, could potentially carry a lot of life-changing potential in those people's relationships, because it kind of, that energy is being drawing people to them. Does that make sense? So
Mm.
it's not just like a random type of thing. Like there is an attraction there. But like I said, they're also not meant to um, hang around and be a part of the solution for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it definitely is. They need to know when to come in and, strike and then move back out.
Like a
So
sneak.
one person, oh, I forgot to mention this person because I put them further down on my notes, was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was also a
Oh,
2-5,
okay,
which is a
okay.
really good example of it because,
Mhm.
she, as a lawyer and then a Supreme Court justice, she spends a lot of time hermiting. That's what they do. She was a champion for gender rights, gender
Mhm.
equality, I should say.
Mhm.
And that was a rather progressive stance, right? And the way she went about it was creative and innovative because when she presented these arguments, it was from the perspective of the male gender being equal to the female gender instead of vice versa. Because, a lot of people are always
Oh.
fighting for female rights, equality. But what she gained recognition for was she took on the case of the Supreme Court case of, I believe it was parental rights, parental leave for a man to have the same kind of equal access to parental leave, things like that, that a woman would have. So that was a different approach of it to show a different side. And a lot of people didn't like that. you know but she had to spend a lot of time, justices, the good ones. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it right now, Clarence Thomas shouldn't be a Supreme Court justice. The man's an idiot. But anyways, I've done some research into him. I don't know. He has never offered any opinions really. Um,
No.
the I have her book. There's a book that I have that I honestly haven't been able to read much of it. She's so smart. She was so smart of how she processed, how she went through, how she saw things, and it was very um, well thought out and written down, and showed her argument and showed her solutions, what she thought. And let's be fair. We definitely all projected onto her that she was the solution. I mean, look how mad people mad people were when she died. That sounds horrible, but I mean, a lot of people were very upset. Like it was her
Yeah.
fault that she died. They all said it was her
Hey, she
fault.
tried her damnedest. She fought cancer a time or
Hmm.
two, was
I know.
working out at like 90.
Look at all the good work she did while she was on the Supreme Court. And then, people were angry with her when she wouldn't then when she didn't step down, like, oh, she should have stepped down so they could have another Democratic leaning, or whatever, liberal leaning, I should say, justice on the court, right? But so that projection, maybe she did stay around too long, and it started to turn a little negative to her, that she did all
Mhm.
this great work and she really was, revered for that. But then maybe she did stay around too long and then it turned negative. That kind of thing can happen to a line 5. So, anyways, that is the 2-5, bringing a lot of hope to humanity through practical solutions and have far reaching consequences. They're great observers of how life is. And, anyways, they transform the world with their genius. It's important for the 2-5 to realize that they themselves are not the solution, but their talents and their gifts, their knowledge is the solution, right? So that's that
Mm.
part of coming in, delivering what you know, retreating. Deliver the solution, allow others to take over. And that can be really challenging because they know it's a solution and others take it and go with it. But if they don't do anything with that solution that's delivered, people can just, like I said, turn on them and feel like they
Mhm.
are the problem, but they're not.